I hear distant whispers of thought through the ether, presently sharing my future, past thoughts of those who came before me. They left with me a secret for me to uncover. Through its discovery, I will understand the power of now and come to know that my future is someone else's past.
The Department of Culture was thrilled to be a part of this exhibition. We were so happy that the Bermuda National Gallery invited us to support it. One of the things that makes this such an important exhibition that we didn't know at the time was going to be the impact that it had on the community. We knew that it was important, but people connected with this exhibition in a way that I think was extremely profound. One of the things that Gherdai has done is to create an exhibition that's extremely layered. And with those layers, there is the ability for the community to come into this space, look at the exhibition and see their own families, see their own family history, see the faces of their relatives, of their ancestors, and to begin thinking about individual personal histories as well. And that really is one of the things that is so important for art and for the engagement with art, that ability to connect with it and to see it not only as this work on a wall or in a gallery space, but to think about what the impacts are on an individual, and especially on an individual history for Black Bermudians in particular, because this, for many of us, this is a history that has been lost, that has been unclaimed, that we have not been in a position to claim. And so this becomes a sort of reclamation. Part of the reason why it was so exciting to know that the exhibition was going to be paired with this poetic response is because it provided an opportunity for poets, Black Bermudian poets, who would have had an opportunity to see this exhibition as well, to create these two connections between media that are not always connected, but often are. And certainly Gherdai herself connects poetry with visual art. For the poets who do not, some of them have a visual arts background, but many of them do not, to be able to come into this space and to reflect upon what has been created and what they have to say about what has been created, the ways in which something that is a visual image can in turn provoke a response that is verbal, that is emotional in a different kind of way, was a really important marriage and intersection between these two art forms. In his poem, Reincarnate, the poet Alan Smith has said, "Trauma is in the blood, and so is the capacity for joy and transcendence." That is the challenge of this exhibition, to come to terms with the ways in which the trauma, which is a part of our history, of our legacy, lives in the same space where that capacity for joy and transcendence can also exist. I hope that you enjoy this intersection between art, poetry, and this as an exploration of what it means to be a Bermudian part of the African diaspora.
I felt when you walk in, because I mean, the first thing you see is the visuals. And for me, her poetry affirmed what I got from the visuals. Just this idea of connectedness, this idea of ancestry, this idea of the Black experience, reincarnate. In a recurrent lucid dreamscape, I am awake, entombed, and cannot move. Among other presences, similarly afflicted, restricted. Upon rising, I wonder if it was a memory enmeshed in DNA, or time travel along ancestral plains to the bowels of a vessel, where the dark man and woman in white peered in periphery during those horrors, truly menacing, or benevolent spirit guides. Trauma is in the blood, and so is the capacity for joy, transcendence. I believe in past lives, along consanguineous paths, remnants of frailties and demons of my forefathers swim in my veins, teem in my cells, color my perceptions, inform current realities. We are all tethered to the past, but it is an honorable burden. We live many lives, sometimes concurrently, sometimes overlapping, others centuries apart. We cannot know, don't need to claim past life royalty. A common station lacks not nobility. We can be present and future kings of realized or exceeded potential, vanquished impossibilities. Twinning, written for Points on the Circle by Gherdai Hassell. Disclaimer: any resemblance of any character mentioned herein to an actual individual is possibly coincidence, and like all unsubstantiated truths, open to analysis. Did Gherdai, by accident or by design, paint and collage the fragmented likeness of those twin boys, the ones from a God-fearing family, those dark, handsome, articulate, charismatic public servants and family men? Did she just happen upon their strong mouth, above immaculate beard, fine facial features, and granite skin? Is it happenstance that we recognize those island famous, infamous subjects of little-known, well-known, and international scandals broadcast on our social media, eliciting our snickers, whispers, and admiration for their prodigious swag, even in the aftermath of unfortunate incidents that would embarrass lesser menfolk? As we think of them, we, by extension, picture their most dapper, dandy sibling, Baron Semity, long striding through the city, slaying us all with his splendid looks. Bermudians are forgetful, forgiving gossips, ever mindful of undiscovered graves of our own secret indiscretions. Beauty and flavor secure our favor. Are the twins the inspiration? Or is seeing the familiar inevitable for us, like how we recognize ourselves abroad, on streets, in airports, by our casual gait, softness of our eyes, radiating curiosity, speaking to strangers, the way our ears prick, chests swell with pride, cheeks puff with recognition as we nod, gesture, and even strike up first-time conversations. Of course, the resemblance could be coincidence, but what is a piece of art? Is it just the artist's intention, or also the viewer's interpretations?
when I realized her process, I mean, it's really beautiful. And we are really a whole amalgamation of things, you know, of DNA. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, the process, it's really nice. So I think I'm going to write on that. So that was calling me because of the entire. I mean, when I walked over there, I saw people that could resemble me, and the mixes and the races and everything that was there. I am a stock of blood and bones, of vessels and channels, an amalgam of creation, a forgotten sojourn, then searching to see what remains to be seen, you, in the archives and archival reel, you wheel to unearth lineage, ancestry, heritage, recognition, history, not his story, but yours, that makes you you. I am worth. I am value. I am the foundation of establishments. I am not the images of mixed media, of oil, of acrylic, and collage, but of encircled essences, not of portraiture. I
You are
am
humanity.
humanity. I
You
am
are
love.
love.
I
You
am
are what was. You are what is. You are the me of what remains in your eyes to be seen.
What this, missy? Picture this. Days gone by before they came, my mother did call me Hubak. I used to dress nice in my back cloth, colorful beads around my neck with armlets and anklets of gold, and my mud sculpted hair. But within my eyes, all I see, images of my land rich with river, whole heap of trees and bounty of animals. But look upon me, they put one comb in a hot coal fire, pull it through me hair, make it bodiless and wispy like this, and swoop it up, and all that glang drape in me neck, accordion ripple, pipe organ hole, and this hat me up silky purple frock, and the bodies underneath a stifle me. And oh, the name they give me, One Rose Callahan. Anyways, after all, man, this pain me to see after images of me longing, tree branch outstretched, like my mother arms reaching for me.
When I walked in, I headed over that way immediately, probably because of all the faces and people to get to know. But then when I came over here, I read the information on the wall, and I was like, can I just write about that? Because like I get a lot from that within itself. And then I was like, no, I have to take in everything. And it's like, I don't know why, but it almost felt like I was running from these paintings in a way, but maybe because it's how they made me feel. And I just looked each one in the eye, and I kind of just tried to see what I got from it, and then I was drawn and kind of pulled into my lovely right here, especially because she's surrounded by purple, which is my favorite color, and it just kind of embodies royalty, and just she's the only one with a smirk on her face, and I was just like, she gives me hope, you know, like she, like regardless of what she's been through, like she still is smiling, and like she kind of just shows like power and like the sun setting. It's just beautiful. Guided by the universe, distorted images of my history. My existence is gelled together with the passions of my truth. Fabrics of silk, vibrant colors of my cloth oozing royalty. Guide me to my own. Lead me to love, light, a land of melanin, gold, bronze beauty. I sing from the pit of my heart and dress my words with my grace. Moving, swaying, rolling to the beat of my hope. View me and hear me when I sing about the lost files, through the old souls, young hearts, free spirits. My life, my beat, my rhythm vibrates to the bodies that roam today. I rise, fall, shine, thrive radiantly, mimicking the sunset with consistency, synchronicity, inhaling peace and comfort while I absorb the energy of my surroundings, stars that whisper my final destination, the ocean that purifies my energy and reminds me of my power, plants, trees, flowers that flow with the wind. I surrender to my strength, courage, power, and drive. mentally going against the grain for the seeds that sprout from me. Drape me in velvets, prints, and patterns, and allow my song for many movements to be sung. Take me as I am, value my presence, digest my voice, admire my physique. Each step we take, you have the opportunity to write a song for many movements.
Well, I came here twice, actually. So the first time I mainly looked at the portraits, and then I was told that I could actually write on everything. So I came back the second time and I looked at everything. And to be honest, everything drew me in. The ship log was very interesting, but this image and a bridge through my window, that other one with the man, yes, those two were my favorites. Yes, I think the second time it sort of hit me a little bit more when I came in, and I really focused on everything, and I saw the little cards behind the images on the sides, with the people's actual faces, their names, what jobs they did. I think it sort of hit me more. And then I noticed in the ship's log right before we left, because we actually got kicked out because we were here so long the last time, there are hymns that have been blocked out, certain pieces are blocked out in the ship log, so that was pretty interesting. So yeah, it hit me more the second time.
Encompassed by sapphire skies, kissed by blood diamonds of blue hues, I've been shifted from comfort to disconcertment. Slated by acrylic layers of my displacement, they coat my essence in tainted yellows and suffocate my true nature with white rough. These are not my roots. My core does not reflect slicked hair and powders or fluffed frocks in high towers that separate me from the soils of my nurture. This is not me. My being aches for the raw feel of nature in all her glory, for browns that mirror my complexion on kin that roam free through the rustling of greens on their figures, lips coveting the sweet nectars from the bountiful bosoms of trees draping mountainsides, enraptured by the redolence of their fragrances. Eyes emptied from yearning, I long for the embrace of my mother sun and her rays of affinity. I dream of the days of me, as I've swayed through the winds of change and been sliced internally by their bitterness. This is now my disposition. These have been my rites of passage.
Honestly, the first thing that really struck me was how everything was collaged and sort of pieces all put together. And it kind of made me reflect on something that I kind of pulled from one of my classes in university, where one of my professors was talking about the African tradition of quilt making in America, and how there's just a tradition of putting different things together and it becoming its own thing of parts made into one. And I feel like I've felt that within the exhibition, but also just the reflection on ancestral things, and being able to think about how no matter how skewed things can end up being because of displacement and everything else, there's still this rich, beautiful thing that has bloomed within it. And we stitch together pieces, just like what's happening with the pieces, and we get this beautiful thing. When God is swept from eyes, all that will remain is blood, bone, and spirit. Inhaled remnants of nostalgia sit fresh on the ash of ancestral whispers. I silently honor their presence as they gift maps of kindred rivers to never lose track of the soil of origin. To be draped in this prayer of a hue is to be a merchant of mystic midnight, a master of mosaic bending shards into a history. I've searched shadows of self to seek diary etched in flesh, but have often found pages torn, reeking of bleach and scrubbed tongues. Fragments of bloodline have broken under the weight of displacement. A scattered story, a stolen people, never afraid to rearrange and put self back together. Uprooted, but never forgetting the soil where first planted. Clarity can't be scalpeled from veins, but I have watched blood bloom beautiful, watched how weaved patterns bring peace, patchworking lineage into reflection, reminder of a quilt of memory fashioned to pay reverence for everything I never knew. A tribute to tongues that didn't always get to carry stories, yet carried life. Praise be to the tangles of roots. Praise be to never surrendering to bruise. Praise be to this bundle of veins collaged into present. They are concerto, stitched in sternum, swimming through spirit, drenched in familiar that could never be mistaken as foreign. I don't question why the wind knows my name. Spirit always knows the language of kin, even if it takes time to relearn its timbre. Its presence reverberates in throat. I speak, I listen, and breathe in everything that's of me, never dismissing the genesis.
The exhibition gave me a feeling, and it created an environment. It wasn't one thing that I was really drawn to, but the feeling of it, the feeling of resilience and something that will not die, and something that is organic and evolved. Well, I wanted, because I think all people came from Africa, so we evolved. So this is just part of the evolution process. And sometimes things have to happen for other things to happen. You know what I mean? We had to create a diaspora. We had to create different types of people, So. Warm shades of orange seep through closed eyes, piercing extremities, channeling passages through lumpy clay, meeting at the heart, beating with the earth. Haram. As I pull limbs out of the soil, the rhythms thump through newly formed veins. The song of the wind, the movement of waves embody me. I am. Limbs dance, songs escape. Haram. Elements scatter my seed. It takes root in cold, aloof lands. It grows and ripens, transmuted. My pale infant forgot his name. Param is devoured in feast of hedonism. Young fruit returns to the garden to steal the fermented, taking its strength, silencing its song, muting its movement, enslaving its spirit. Param wanes as it inhales strange scents, absorbs new sounds, inhabits stifled beats. But the seed cannot stop rooting, growing. It can hear the faint earth beat. Still orange seeps, The sea continues to dance to evolved rhythms, to make new songs, to survive, to thrive. The Param cannot be subdued, will not die, remembers its name. I am. Param, Param, Param.
At dusk, the stars come out to greet us with open arms. They wrap around us like a blanket in the night. They whisper sweet lullabies in our ears and tell us stories of how they led our ancestors to freedom on the underground trail. They kiss us goodnight and serve as the night lights on the path to our dreams. They let us in on their secret, how they pass the torch to the sun at dawn. Like a mother, every night they show up without fail, and with every appearance they make, they teach us how to turn the page to write a new tomorrow.